This is the MEC Mississippi Economic Council. It's the state's Chamber of Commerce. It's sort of the voice of business for our state. And our purpose is to reach out both to employers and businesses around our great state and be the representative voice in the legislature on issues that are very important to business, of course. Training, employment, taxes, just the general regulatory environment that our state provides for the industry and business community.
Today is HOBNOB, Mississippi. It's one of MEC's signature events. It's probably one of our largest events that draws business leaders from all across the state of Mississippi to come here and hobnob, get a chance to visit, catch up with each other. If you get right down to it, probably workforce development continues to be the number one issue that we're facing. We have to find a way to continue to grow our workforce.
A trained workforce, that's really, really important. While we have this booming economy that's hitting around our nation, it's certainly having its effect here, and the demand for goods and services are there. It takes people to make that happen. You can have buildings, you can have machinery, but you have to have trained workforce in order for output. And so that's the big focus we have been involved this year.
Look, I know what makes HOBNOB special is the fact that everyone around the room gets a chance to visit and talk and carry on some conversations during the morning. We don't necessarily ever want to stop that, but I would ask for your attention for just a few minutes, if I could. We've got a very special announcement that's coming up, and I really would like for y'all to give your attention to us for this. As you know, MEC is an organization that is a private, not-for-profit group. We are the State Chamber of Commerce. Our support comes solely from the business support that our members give us. And it's the leadership of those members and those volunteer leaders throughout the state, the business leaders throughout the state, that helps give MEC its direction. And I know with the crowd kind of spread out like it is, this might be a difficult request, but if there's anybody that's sitting down or anybody that's standing in the back that is a member of one of MEC's boards, would you please stand and let us recognize you? This year, our board is led by Lex Taylor of the Taylor Companies based in Louisville. Lex's company is a family-owned company that has continued to grow, continue to provide jobs in Mississippi, and continue to be a big part of helping make us the type of state that is going to be successful for years to come. If y'all would please join me in welcoming the MEC Chair, Lex Taylor.
Good morning and welcome. Thank you all for being here. Okay, folks, we're just over halfway through, okay? We're making progress. I just want to say a few comments and then make a special announcement. HOBNOB is special. It's good to see everybody here. What else are you going to do on a rainy day? It's better than digging a ditch. Glad to have all of you here. But it's a chance to meet these candidates, and I want to say to those that have spoken to us already, thank you so much for taking the leadership role and stepping up and taking the time to come speak to us. And for those that will be shortly speaking to us, I want to thank them too. It's a difficult thing to do if you've ever run for office. Sometimes it's thankless, but I thank these people that are coming ahead to us and speaking to us regarding their issues and the issues of this state. HOBNOB brings business together, and it brings community together, and it helps us understand the role of the private sector and what it plays in the strategic agenda of our state. MEC continues to be an organization that is making a meaningful difference. We not only identify issues, but we effectively advocate for solutions to Mississippi's economic competitiveness. As I mentioned at MEC's annual meeting this past April, this year marks our 70th anniversary. Sort of proud to make that announcement. Everything we do at MEC builds on the founding principles
established 70 years ago. That is to build coalitions, to focus on fairness and equality, to speak as a united business front, and using our long-standing pillars of advocacy, research, resources, and leadership, MEC continues to focus on strategic approaches to the future of our great state. MEC does not shy away from tough issues, and after the election is over, this November the 5th, we stand ready to work with our leadership at the state capitol in finding effective ways to grow our state's economy and improve the quality of life for all of our citizens. If we're going to move the needle, MEC must be an organization where everyone has a seat at the table, because without question, we as Mississippians are at our best when we come together to find solutions. Again, thank you for being here, and we still have a lot more to come, and we'll be hearing from candidates further, as I said, also from our governor and lieutenant governor candidates, as well as our governor and lieutenant governor. And we're looking forward to conversations with Governor Bryant and the First Lady, very special. And of course, the great Hobnob lunch that's awaiting us. But first I have, as I said, a very special announcement. Please listen to me just a minute, if you will. When MEC members step forward, it makes a tremendous difference in our state. 2 years ago, on this stage, Cooperative Energy and Orgis Energy made a wonderful donation of $125,000 to the Mississippi Scholars Tech Masters program. The donation represented the largest single gift ever made to the program. These funds enabled the Mississippi Scholars Tech Master to continue its critical mission of preparing high school students for college or careers in the technical employment sector. At that time, October 2017, the program was in schools in 67 Mississippi counties. The stated goal was to use the donation to expand Mississippi Scholar Tech Masters to each and every county within our state. And I'm proud to announce today, mission accomplished. As of October 9th, the Mississippi Scholars Tech Masters program is being conducted by schools in all 82 counties within our state, helping students to find an outstanding opportunities. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is so vitally important. Everyone in this Coliseum knows the need for a trained workforce. And finding trained workers can be a challenge. We all know. My company faces that challenge. Many of the companies here, the same. Cooperative Energy, which generates electricity distributed to 55 counties, stretching from the Mississippi Gulf Coast to the Tennessee line, knew that workforce training would enhance the economic development of our great state. That is why the $125,000 donation was so important 2 years ago, and why today Cooperative Energy is announcing a $187,500 pledge to MEC's Mississippi Scholars and Tech Masters program. This money will be invested in our students over the next 5 years with an annual investment out of it of $37,500. A major focus will be a strong outreach to both students and parents, emphasizing how Scholars and Tech Masters lays a strong foundation for success in both college and careers. These students are receiving training that will benefit them for life. At this time, I would like to ask Jeff Bowman, President of Cooperative Energy, to the stage, soon to be the CEO of the organization, to make a few remarks to us. Jeff, please.
So what I'd like to do right now, for any representatives or employees of our members that are here today, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you all for your support and our board of directors. The last thing I'd like to say is this, and I'll speak on behalf of Cooperative Energy and every one of our members. Whenever we have the opportunity to invest in the future of Mississippi students, no matter if this is a large sum, we always feel like it's money well spent. So we appreciate MEC, Lex, Scott, for giving us the opportunity to participate in supporting what we think is a great program. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks, Cooperative Energy. It's amazing what you have done. I challenge myself as well as other companies in this room and around the state to step up and do the same. This is what we'll take to get our workforce trained and ready to go for the growth of the state of Mississippi. I want to also thank all of you for your financial contributions to the MEC this year. As we said, we are now with the Tech Masters program in all 82 counties. That's great. That will make and is currently making great progress in workforce training. Again, thank you for Cooperative Energy. And again, to everyone, thank you for being here. And I'm going to turn it back over to Scott. Have a great hobnob. Thank you. Thank you, Lex. And again, I'd like to thank all of our MEC board members for their dedication to helping set a direction for our organization that really will help us make a difference. And thanks to every one of you for being here today and being part of this event because of what it means. It marked the 45th anniversary of Leadership Mississippi. Kathy Northington, our COO, who oversees that program, actually did a little bit of research about how did this program get started, what was at the core of it, and what was the purpose of it. And actually, we have put together an extremely impressive video that kind of outlines where we started, where we are, and she's going to talk a little bit about where we need to be going. So at this time, please turn your attention to the screens.
MEC through the years had been led primarily by people well established in their professions. Bob Pittman, who was then the executive of Mississippi Economic Council, was actually the one who came up with the idea.
I just remember, building various friendships and being able to really learn leadership skills.
The thinking that brought this about was that we need to get a stream of leadership ready to come in and lead MEC, but also to give leadership in all of the areas of public life in Mississippi.
I recall well getting that invitation and how exciting it was for me. It was really my first venture into the statewide field. It's a long way from Corinth to Jackson, and I just didn't have a lot of connections, and I was excited to know some people and what life was like around the state, other than in my little community of Corinth.
One of the great lessons I think that permeated through the program was how important it is to focus on leadership.
The first year was so very important. We wanted our coming together to be significant.
There are experiential building blocks, and Leadership Mississippi, for me, as a law student, was certainly one of those. I was very fortunate throughout my career to serve in a number of leadership positions.
It was just a great opportunity to think forward and provide some leadership to the state for these years that we've been a part of.
It was important for me to be in Leadership Mississippi because my father was just as similarly as coming back and being in the family business. It kind of went hand in hand.
Learning how we can establish ourselves and help the state through this class is really, really great.
And it taught me leadership skills, and as a result of that, I've served on a number of national boards. I've served on numerous boards.
I felt in order for me to grow as a leader, Whether it was in my region or in the state of Mississippi, I needed to be around other people like me that had the same passion and desire to serve our state.
It develops good leadership skills.
You can get the wisdom from the older generation, and then the youthfulness and the innovation from the younger generation, and just put it together.
I think this Leadership Mississippi is so good until communities have duplicated it, which is a compliment to our statewide program. And by having a Leadership Hattiesburg, we do the same thing at the local level. We identify people who really need to be encouraged to get involved. And that's happened all over the state. So Leadership Mississippi has been a good role model.
I heard Johnny Dupree have music, and I was like, well, I want music. If I'm writing the checks and we're signing, I want music. So isn't she lovely? Stevie Wonder, thank you. Thank you, Bob Davidson. 45 years of Leadership Mississippi. For an organization and a program to last for 45 years and is as relevant it is then as it is now is an accomplishment in itself. I have been with MEC Leadership Program for 12 years and MEC for 16 years. I knew the highlights of the program. I understood a little bit about the program, but it wasn't until I traveled around the state, had the opportunity to talk to Dr. Lucas and the members of the first class that I truly understood the fibers that was put together to build Leadership Mississippi. Vision, persistence, achievement, endurance. These are the threads of the Leadership Mississippi program. The vision today is the same vision it was 45 years ago, to build a network of leaders, to grow Mississippi and build Mississippi for everyone in every community. MEC has thrived over the past 45 years, over 1,500 alums across the state of Mississippi. We have military involvement. We have a former U.S. congressman, a former governor. We have state senators, bankers, presidents, CEOs, educators, doctors. Can we please have our leadership alums in the room to please stand? Thank you. These leaders themselves have woven their own threads of vision, persistence, achievement, endurance, and a part of the leadership fabric. We've learned a lot over these past 45 years. Enduring requires remaining relevant. Remaining relevant requires meeting the needs of the businesses in all communities in the state of Mississippi. MEC plans to continue to endure and continue to value our businesses and our communities across the state. We look forward to the threads we will add to our fabric in the next 45 years. Stay tuned as we announce events throughout the year to celebrate our journey and our fabric. Thank you.
We are very happy that everyone is here. I want to take just a few minutes, though, to kind of break up our political speeches to talk about a couple things that are happening in Mississippi right now that I think are very important for everyone to know about. I hope you had an opportunity to see the news yesterday concerning Mississippi's educational achievements. Yesterday, the National Assessment of Education Progress, which is referred to as NAEP, that's kind of considered the nation's report card, ranked Mississippi #1 in the nation for gains on their test. That is a tremendous, tremendous advancement in our education here in Mississippi. What it has meant is that we are seeing tremendous progress in the 4th grade on both reading and math scores. In fact, ranking #1 in both of those two categories. And for the first time ever, Mississippi's 4th grade math scores exceed the national average. Folks, that is a tremendous, tremendous step forward. But equally important, our 4th grade reading scores are now at the national average. So when you think about all of the things that have been taking place in education, the emphasis that's being put on making sure that we have students that are prepared to move to the next grade level, that they're reading at the grade level where they should be, we're seeing the impact of that. To show the significance of this, Mississippi was the only state in the nation to see improvements in 3 of the 4 categories that NAEP judges. The 4th grade students made the largest gain in both of those categories in the last 3 years, and that has continued to rank us very high. But our 8th grade students are doing just as well. In fact, we rank #3 for growth in mathematics, outpacing everyone else in the nation. Between 2017 and 2019, we have been #1 in improvements in 4th grade math, #1 in improvements in 4th grade reading, #3 in improvements in 8th grade math, and #4 in improvements in 8th grade reading. Folks, we're in the top 5 of all of those categories. Dr. Carrie Wright, our state superintendent, could not be with us this morning because she is actually in Washington at a NAEP meeting talking about the things that are happening in Mississippi. However, we have a brief message from her talking about the importance roles that our teachers play in the classroom in making this happen.
What you want them to be doing each and every day. You've got leaders leading buildings. You've got this laser-like and focus on instruction and making sure that all children's needs are being met. And I think that's the beauty of our results. It's everybody. It's not just some children. It's all children, all subgroups are showing progress, and it's our teachers that are making that happen each and every day. So they've got to be excited. It's a great time to be in Mississippi with education. Long told story was Mississippi has always been last, and we're not. And it's a great way to be looking at life for children, because realizing that their educational attainment is only going up. Every measure that we're looking at is only going up. Our assessment results have gone up every year for 4 years. Our graduation rate's at an all-time high. And so to be in Mississippi and have a child involved in education, or to be in education involved in Mississippi, it's just an exciting place to be.
So again, our teachers, our parents, our students are making a difference. I encourage you, we rarely are able to have teachers at Hobnob because today, while we're here, they're in the classroom. But I encourage you, the next time that you have the opportunity, thank a teacher for the hard work that they do. They're making a difference, and the results that our children are showing are really helping make that difference. Now, one of the reasons this matters the most is our 4th graders and 8th graders today are soon going to be our workforce of tomorrow. And on your table, you will find a magazine that was just released. That was a publication of the State Workforce Investment Board. It is the Mississippi Works magazine. And in it is really an outline of a number of jobs that these students will soon be having the opportunity to learn about, know about, and eventually obtain as their career. Building on a foundation of making sure our K-12 system, our community college system, our IHL, all of those things make a difference. But pre-K is equally important. And I wanted to give you one other quick note of something that has happened in the last week that is extremely important, and that is the Mississippi Children's Museum, which is located here in Jackson, is in the process of building a satellite location. They broke ground on Monday for the location in Meridian that will be the first satellite of the museum. Construction is underway on this $17 million project. It will be located on 22nd Avenue which is the gateway to downtown in the old Sears location. Now, I grew up over in East Mississippi, and I imagine there are a few other in the crowd. I think it's most appropriate that that's where they put the Children's Museum, because the old Sears building marked a very special moment for me in my life. That is the first place I ever met Santa Claus. So as our kids are continuing to learn and know about what's happening here in the state of Mississippi, this 2,500 square foot facility is going to make a difference. It's going to allow for additional 2,500 square foot outside for exhibit space, for events, and really one more thing. So at the MEC table, down at the end of the Coliseum, you'll find some literature about the Children's Museum. I encourage you to take a moment, go down, pick that up, and let's make sure that we're supporting this program because of the impact that it has on our children, not only here in the Jackson area, but now in East Mississippi.
Our fourth graders led the nation. They're #1 in America for reading and math. So the progress that they have made, particularly over the last 7 years since we introduced a literacy-based program to third grade gate, has been remarkable. We went from almost last, if not last in the nation, to #1 in the nation. These are the NAEP scores, the National Report Card. So it was a phenomenal day and a great piece of news for every Mississippian, particularly the teachers and students.
And what kind of a link is that going to have with economic development?
Well, you've got to have an educated workforce. So if you have children that are learning to read by the third grade and then reading to learn after that, by the 8th grade they're passing their math and science. Our 8th graders also help lead the nation in math. And so math and science, those programs that we need so desperately for advanced manufacturing, they're beginning to show progress in high school like never before. Graduation rates are higher than ever, 80.4% in the state of Mississippi, so good things are happening on the education front.
MEC provides the value to the extent of representation, to the extent of a voice that can be heard, not broadly but pointedly, surgically, if you will, on the major issues and the important issues to the business community, which equates to all citizens in our great state. So it's a surgical voice and a force of research and the proper approach to how we go about doing business at our legislature.